We're here at the CCA workbench for the Academy Sports and Outdoors Rigs and Techniques, and Steve Grant has come all the way down from the Jacksonville area where they catch a lot of big wahoos. I did a show there once and we caught a ton, and he's going to tell us a little bit about high-speed wahoo trolling. Now, how did all this high-speed trolling come underway? Why are we high-speeding, and what does that mean?
High speeding is not a new thing. It's been around for a real long time. I'm not going to say that any of us created it, but you know, it kind of did start in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And the one nice thing about high-speed fishing is it allows you to cover a lot of ground in a shorter period of time to try to find those active fish.
Right.
So when you say, hey Steve, what's high-speed fishing? To me, it's faster than your ballyhoo would stay together. Okay, so 10 knots to 20 knots. Okay, so it's hard to keep a natural bait together at those higher speeds. So, and every boat's going to be a little bit different. Some boats will get on plane at like 17 knots, and that way you can save a little bit of fuel.
You're not plowing.
Exactly. So one thing that we're not doing when we're high speeding is saving gas. Okay.
Right.
So you know, we're just trying to find those active fish. And the other thing about high speed fishing is you really eliminate a lot of the bycatch. So it seems like the faster you go, the less barracudas, king mackerel, and amberjack that you'll end up catching on a daily basis.
Well, because wahoo he's built for speed. He's made to go fast. So when something goes fast by him, he chases it, you know, like a cheetah chasing an antelope. And if it's moving fast, it keeps all those other fishes from chasing it, probably.
Bring me on to something else real quick. One of the reasons that we use such a larger bait, okay, or a lure, is when we are going fast, it seems smaller to the fish. So we want to make sure that we do catch those the fish's attention. And the other thing too is with all these beautiful colors, and one thing I will tell you guys, we just acquired Zack Attack lures this year, so we're extremely excited about that. And I caught a ton of wahoo on these lures this year. But we make all these colors so that all these fishermen have something else to buy.
Right.
So on my boat, as long as I have some dark profiles and some light profiles, and I'll actually even alternate that on different sides of the boat, and then that kind of allows us to slowly key in on what they may be hitting on that particular day.
Does it have anything to do with if it's a sunny day or a dark day? Do you do anything like that? I know for marlin, you know, we like to run bright lures on dark days and dark lures on sunny days, or vice versa. Some guys do. You know, anything to that to you?
I'll tell you that every day I have dark and light.
There you go.
Because you know, in our
I always
research,
like to have a black one back there.
Well, you got to have a black one, and usually we have 2 or 3. Okay,
Right.
But even if it's sunny out, if it's cloudy out, it's easier for a fish to see a darker lure because of the shadow.
Right.
Okay. So we want to make sure we always have something out there to give them options.
And I see you got some pretty big, heavy gear here. You're what kind of line and tackle are we using?
Well, I like fishing big, and keep in mind that, you know, we're trolling around at 16 to 18 knots.
That's a bent bucket.
This is one of my apps. So this thing was a hot rod this year. Okay, this is a Penn 70 VSW. I like to fish with hollow core because I don't just wahoo fish with this reel. I marlin fish with it. I swordfish with it. I also catch my 130-pound hollow core. And on this one, I've got one of our new hollow cores that actually changes color every 50 feet.
So you can tell how far you're going back.
So we can tell how far we're going back, and it kind of helps, you know, reduce the amount of tangles. Because having a tangle when you've got, you know, $800 of gear behind the boat, it can be
all those heavy weights and everything.
All these heavy weights, it's awful.
So when I'm usually wahoo fishing, one of my lines that gets nailed the most is my shotgun line, the longest one back there. Are you guys pulling stuff pretty far back when you're going fast?
You know, depending on the boat and the crew that I have for that particular day, I'll fish as little as 3, as many as 6, okay? So yes, we do fish shotgun lines, and my shotgun is typically about between 3 and 350 feet, and we start getting closer from there. So I will say one of the tricks that we've done for years, and it works really well, is the farther you get away from the boat, the lighter the trolling weight, okay?
I got you.
So my shotgun line might be a 16 or a 24 ounce, and as you stagger and get closer to the boat, they get a little heavier. Because if you're in a turn, a light lead will actually float over a heavy lead.
I got you.
So once again, we don't want to get a tangle out there, you know what I'm saying? So
you got to go watch your turns. I noticed that you have some the shock leaders with the mono and some with the wire. Real quick, What's the difference between those?
So if you're going to get cut off by a Wahoo, it's typically because they come up and they do hit one of the trolling weights, okay? And then their teeth will slide down and cut the shock leader off. So if you're in an area where there is a lot of chances at a lot of Wahoo, for instance, the Bahamas.
Yeah, where you get the
some of
multiples.
these, yeah, they'll get 20, 30 bites on a tide sometimes. So we make a cable shock leader so that way if the fish does accidentally hit the trolling weight and he does slide down, he doesn't cut off the lure.
Beautiful. Hey, that was it, man. That was a quick 5 minutes.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me,
We could have went an
guys.
hour, I'm sure.